which will be done by our presenter, Randy Tumblin. Now, Randy, first I'll introduce the topic a little bit, and then you can do the meditation and segue right into your presentation. Tai Chi and Qigong are exercise forms of Chinese origin that have been practiced in one form or another for at least 1,400 years. Many people believe that these very gentle activities provide significant improvements to the participants' health and overall quality of life. And there's a growing body of scientific evidence to support this. Randy and his wife Alice first began practicing Tai Chi 12 years ago, and within a month of arriving in Ajijic, they joined the Lakeside Taoist Tai Chi group. And there, Randy's going to give us the meditation and then his talk and demonstrations of these two exercise forms.
Okay, is this working?
No.
Ain't working.
1, 2, 3?
Yep.
Very good. Okay, we do a form of meditation as a part of the Qigong and Tai Chi, so if you want to join me in doing this particular form, you'll need to stand up, okay? What I invite you to do is put your feet at shoulder width with the toes pointed straight forward, okay? If you're male, put your left thumb at your navel and your right hand over your left. If you're female, do it the opposite way. Right hand first and then left. Okay, bend the knees ever so slightly. Straighten your back. And now just let everything relax. Excellent. This is a great group. Okay, nobody was looking for the chair. Okay, this in Tai Chi and Qigong is called the horse stance. It's very similar to being standing in the stirrups on the back of a horse. Okay, let's begin the presentation. So, what this talk is going to be about is some background and history for Tai Chi and Qigong, where they came from. I'm going to teach a little bit about the practice of Tai Chi, what gets done, when does it get done. And again go into Qigong, which is different but related to Tai Chi. And the whole objective here is to give you folks enough information that maybe you can figure out whether there's something in Tai Chi for you. I'll begin the formal presentation with a story. This is a true story. An early 80s woman in New England went to the senior center and signed up for a Tai Chi class, a beginner's Tai Chi class. She was unable to attend the first class because it overlapped with the previous activity that she'd been involved in. She showed up at the second class early and sought out the instructor and asked what she could do to try to make up for the class that she missed. The instructor had been doing Tai Chi and Qigong for quite a long time. He was well-versed in Chinese alternative medicine. He was well-versed in Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism, the three major thought processes in China. And he thought for a minute and said, well, the most important thing that we went over last week is the idea of Qi. Qi is life force. Qi is something you're born with. You absorb Qi with the food that you eat. Qi comes to you in the air that you breathe. Qi Chi is responsible for you being able to move. It is energy. Through Tai Chi, through Qigong, we want to teach you how to harness Chi. We want to teach you how to enhance it, to gather it in your body, and over time be able to project Chi, even to the point of putting it as a healing process to someone else without even touching it. He turned and looked expectantly at this woman, and she turned back to him and said, "Sonny, you've got one heck of an imagination." I'm not Oriental, and I don't think that easily about these concepts that are so broad and great. Like most Westerners, I use the idea of Chi, or life energy, with some skepticism. I like to look at Chi as a metaphor for the several biological processes that now we understand a whole lot better, that are going on in your body whenever you exercise. All kinds of wonderful things. There are positive things going on in your body when you do Tai Chi and Qigong. There's a growing body of scientific evidence that's validating the claims that have been mostly empirical until just a few years ago. One study in particular that I found fascinating was a consolidation. 76 different peer-reviewed studies taken out of medical journals were consolidated into one. And they found that there was general agreement in every one of those studies that there were very positive effects on cardiopulmonary function. People could breathe better, blood pressure went down, heart rate went down, ability of the heart to respond to conditions went up. Even bone density was impacted favorably. As people aged, if they were involved in Tai Chi and Qigong, the loss of bone density was greatly diminished, and in some cases actually enhanced. Fall and balance-related effects were noted practically everywhere. People doing Tai Chi and Qigong didn't fall as often, and if they fell, the injuries were much less. Immune function. Strangely enough, regular exercise, such as Tai Chi and Qigong, actually improves your immune function. And one of the last major ones that they talked about, there are really several others, is stress. The people who did Tai Chi and Qigong handled life's challenges much better. They responded less to stress. They were able to take it as it were. Now, the authors also noted that Tai Chi and Qigong is not a silver bullet. That there are a lot of exercise forms that have very similar types of responses in the human body, which basically gets down to one of my main themes today. Your body's got to move. It's good for it. Okay? We've heard that a lot. However, they said there are three really important aspects of Tai Chi and Qigong that should be considered if you're looking at those. First is low cost. Okay? If you want to do Tai Chi and Qigong, no equipment to buy, no bicycles, no weights, okay? No gym membership. You don't even have to buy an outfit. Okay? Just whatever you've got on is fine for doing Tai Chi and Qigong. Very important is the low-risk aspects of doing these exercises. They are gentle. They are oriented towards balance. It's very, very difficult to hurt yourself doing Tai Chi and Qigong. All of the exercises are very low impact. There's no stomping the feet, there's no running, there's no hitting anything. And because part of the exercise program is one of teaching economy of motion, you learn just simply how to move more confidently and with economy of motion. The final point that they brought up is that Tai Chi and Qigong tend to be very accessible. Meaning classes are pretty easy to find. We were surprised when we first came here to find that there are actually 3 different Tai Chi groups that are working either seasonally or throughout the year. Okay. Okay, I want to go now into the origins and the evolution of Tai Chi. Tai Chi Chuan is the full name. It means Supreme Ultimate Fist. It is, or was, a training program for warriors. It's first documented in China in the Sung Dynasty, 10th through 13th centuries, as a method of preparing warriors for combat. It is, the origins are actually in martial arts. In the 10th to 13th century, if you wanted to have the best army, you had to have the best fighters. And when they developed ways of training fighters to be better, they kept it a secret. Okay, it was like having a longer range rifle. No, I've got warriors who can fight better than your warriors. And I'm not going to teach you how I achieved that. I can't tell you how we achieved that. Okay. We fast forward to the 18th century. In one village in China, one family, the Chen family, became renowned throughout China as the best fighters. Okay? They were sought after as fighters, and they too held the practice of how did they train fighters as a very, very closely held thing. Only their family members knew it, and only their family members living in this particular village. The Qin form of Tai Chi exists to this day, and it is one of the forms that is most closely related to the martial arts today. I'll try and show you in a little bit some differences between other forms. In the 19th century, a fellow working for the Qin family by the name of Yang began to surreptitiously watch the training. He was a bright fellow, and he learned the motions, the postures that the Qin family was doing in preparing themselves to be the great fighters that they were. And eventually they caught him at it and said, okay, you get to fight a couple of us. And son of a gun, he did pretty well. And he did well enough that the Qin family invited him to be a part of their training program. A few years later, he left the family and went to another part of China and began training other people with what he learned. He adapted the Qin form, and there was born the Yang form of Tai Chi, which is practiced today in various forms. Like the Qin form, it's taught with a relationship to martial arts. Now, what is the relationship to martial arts? Almost everybody's seen at least one of the dozen or so Karate Kid movies. Wax on, wax off, paint the fence, okay? In Qin form and in Yang forms, they were taught that the wax on is actually a parrying motion for combat, to move. Also another blocking movement, as you move your hands through it, okay? So that's the relationship of the motions that you find in Tai Chi to the martial arts. Yang form is taught as a martial art. You even have belts and sashes to indicate your achievement. There are versions of the Yang form which include more gentle, the use of a fan as part of the motions of Tai Chi, and yet another form that's done with a sword. All of these are different forms. The Yang form of Tai Chi today is, or at least one subset of it, is the most practiced form of Tai Chi taught in China today. It's estimated there are 50 million Chinese who are doing the Yang form Beijing short form is what it's called here today, and that makes it the most widely practiced in the world. Fast forward another century to North America. Here, a Taoist monk who left the communist domain through Hong Kong and eventually ended up in Ontario, did another adaptation of Tai Chi. He had Parkinson's disease, and he had other physical problems as well. When he first learned Tai Chi, he found that it did wonders for his conditions, and his mobility improved greatly. He, along with a few others, established what's known as the International Taoist Tai Chi organization, centered in, again, near Toronto. It's widely practiced in the U.S., Canada, and about 20 other countries today. It's been practiced here at Lakeside for the past 10 years. It is adapted to people with lower mobility, with handicaps, or just getting old. Okay? That's what we practice. That's what we teach in our little group. The essential idea is that it's to be taught not as a martial art. Okay? We may teach you motions like this, but I'm not going to tell you that, hey, that's punching somebody's lights up. So the thing here is you need to remember there's someone who's proficient in Taoist Tai Chi threatens you with it. You don't have much to worry about. Okay, Taoist Tai Chi is taught as a community service by volunteers. Okay, it's the philosophy of this form of Tai Chi is you're not to be paid for sharing this with the community. We work with that. It's learned and practiced in a group setting. Well, it is possible to learn these arts by reading books and looking at videos. It's darn difficult. It's much better to have an instructor. It's much better to be able to see things going on around you in 3 dimensions. It is adaptable to those with limited mobility, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later. But basically, if you can't move your shoulder up this high, move it up this high. Okay? If you have problems in your legs, sit down and do some of the exercise. We try and work with people who are getting older. We try and work with people who have diseases that affect their mobility. We look at it and talk among ourselves as, geez, what is this all about? We really feel like when we're doing this, we're doing something that's more like 2 parts ballet, 1 part martial art. Very smooth, very gentle, very flowing. We call it moving meditation. At this point, I'm going to ask Alice, my partner and wife for a long time, and actually the leader of the Tai Chi group, and ask her to join me, and we're going to do a very, very brief demonstration of what the Tai Chi looks like. And I'm just turning on my hearing aids so I can hear her microphone. Thank you. That is the essence of Tai Chi as we teach it. Slow, flowing, gentle, economy of movement, and so on, able to turn 180 degrees, just very smooth, very easy. That's part of the training of Tai Chi. Large movements, as large as you can personally do them. If someone cannot do this large moving of the hands, wave hands like clouds, it's called, you do it small, and adapt it to whatever you can do. Perhaps you can see the martial arts origins and some of the things that we're doing. They're there. So do a contrast. If you were to look at the Chen form of some of the same motions that we did, to become softer, to become more gentle, you might see something like this. Okay? Very close to the martial art. Very evident that it's training. And a little bit too aggressive for me. Okay, I'm going to move on to Qigong at this point. Qigong is a series of movements that are made mostly in place. You take your spot in the group and you go through a whole series of movements and exercises. They're designed, the set of exercises we do is designed to move all of your muscles, every one of them. It's designed to enhance your consciousness of breathing. It's designed to enhance your consciousness of balance. In our practice, this is a preliminary to Tai Chi. You can call it a warm-up, whatever, but it has value on its own. We actually have at least one member right now who comes and only does the Qigong with us. She's in her 80s, and that's what she can do, that's what she feels like, and she's welcome to do it that way. Is it exercise? Yeah, it is. You'll see, I'm going to ask you to join me in a couple of these exercises in a little bit, but it's movement. Movement is exercise, and it's good. Whoever you are, it's good. Is it alternative medicine? Well, there have been talks for a long time about how Qigong enhances the Qi. Okay. Reality, movement of the sorts that we do moves muscle against muscle. That's good. It circulates fluids in the lymph system, whatever. Is that alternative medicine? Alternative medicine? I don't know. Muscles moving against organs also enhances their function. Is that good? Yes. Is it alternative medicine? I don't know. Okay. Part of Tai Chi and Qigong are meditation and stress management, particularly within the Qigong. We did our meditation today as a Qigong exercise. It is ultra low impact. There's hardly any stepping at all involved in it. And it can be practiced anytime and anywhere. Last month I was doing it in the back of a 747 crossing the Pacific Ocean. Okay. Also, we got back from a trip to China just last month. And also I've done it in China, getting off of a bus, a harrowing bus ride through fog. And said, I need some stress relief. So we began. Pretty soon we had our whole tour group joining with us. Okay. So what are the goals of Qigong? Balance, awareness of the center of gravity, stable posture, and low-risk movement are all part of balance. And the next is breathing. As part of balance, we have that stable posture that we did our meditation with. If you want to join me in a couple of exercises, I'll have you get on your feet again at this point. Okay? And back. Okay. And we're going to get back into that horse stance. Okay? Feet shoulder width, knees slightly bent, spine erect. Okay? Bring your hands to your chest. Exhale as you push out. And inhale as you pull in. Pause for a second. Here, everything's in balance. And you're learning to breathe more deeply by patterning your breathing to motion. Oh my, you've already learned 2 Qigong exercises. Okay, let's stop. Same position with feet, body, same relax. This time we're going to put the hands straight out. And as you separate your hands, breathe in. And as they come back together, breathe out. And begin to breathe in on the other side. This is expanding your lungs one side at a time, but also teaching you to breathe in a pattern motion. Slower breathing, deeper breathing. Okay. Very good. Thank you. That's 3 Qigong exercises you've already learned. Okay? I'm going to give you another little story. This is out of Taoism. Taoism teaches leading a good and righteous life is a good thing. Leading a long life, longevity is good too. It's a good goal. One of the things that is taught in Taoist thought that also includes the idea that when you are born, you are given a certain number of breaths that you will use during your lifetime. It's almost like a little counter here and says, and every time you breathe in and out, that counter goes down 1 notch. So the Taoists teach you, you want to live longer, breathe slower. Okay. Stress management is part of Qigong. Okay? And in this, we do several exercises that are of very limited movement and are repetitive, and again are done from this very stable platform. This is one of them. Hands are relaxed, arms relaxed. I'm pivoting on that very stable platform. There's not much mental activity going on when I'm not talking. Okay? Repetition is very relaxing. Another one just goes simply this way. Range of motion, repetitive activity, relax. Pretty cool. Okay. Flexibility. We can see through several of the exercises that we've been in. We're having you move. We want you to exercise, push through your personal range of motion. Okay? Again, that's not my range of motion, it's yours. So if you keep it moving, you're less likely to lose range of motion. Range of motion has a whole lot to do with quality of life as we get older. Okay? When we start not being able to move to the full extent our bodies were designed, it's not a very pleasant thing. Okay, moving on. Who can do Tai Chi and Qigong? Just about everybody. The medical community, not only in north of the border in Canada and the U.S., are fans of Tai Chi, but many of the doctors here in Lakeside recommend it. Okay, it's becoming better known. And I think part of that's because the scientific studies are finally catching up with it. You stop doing Tai Chi only when your muscle strength or muscle control jeopardizes your safety. In many cases, what that means is not that you stop, but you sit down and do it. We have people who sit through Tai Chi and Qigong, and they do as much of the motion, the range of motion, breathing as they possibly can. Experience with a few of our members. We were blessed to have with us for 6 years a woman with MS. She worked with us on a regular basis. She came and with aids, crutches to help her get to her position to do these exercises. She'd leave those behind and join us and do these. She went on for about 6 years with us and finally had to quit when she was 86 at the very advanced stages of MS and couldn't get to the classes anymore. We've had people come to us with, as part of, we'll call it physical therapy follow-up. Okay, after an injury or surgery, physical therapy is done, they still need to keep moving, they come to us to learn how to do Tai Chi and Qigong. We have, at any given time, somewhere between 7 and 25 persons in our classes, and that varies, like most things here in Lakeside, by season. It's always a pretty comfortable place to be, also, because we always have beginners. You're not going to come and be the only person that doesn't know how to do every move. We always have beginners. I deem it somewhat as a one-room schoolhouse type effect. We have advanced people, we have people who are just getting started at any given time. So it's a pretty neat place. Okay, about time to be wrapping up. No? I don't need to wrap up. You want another story? I mentioned that you can do Tai Qigong just about anywhere. And I mentioned also that I use it for stress relief. In fact, a lot of our people use it for stress relief. Another true story. One of our members was in a really stressful place, in a post-op waiting room at a local hospital. That is kind of the definition of a stressful place. She got up and began doing some of the stress relief exercises, trying to find a calmer place, trying through repetitive motion to get some of the bad thoughts out of her head. And then she went into this one. And it turns out it was fortunate that she was fluent in Spanish because the staff there was thinking she'd lost it. They were contemplating a straitjacket. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to conclude anyway. We may be a little bit short, a little bit early today. But what I've tried to do today, and I hope I have, is that you'll learn a little bit about Tai Chi, about where it came from and how it evolved. Seen a small portion of the Taoist Tai Chi set of movements and postures. Seen they're pretty gentle, pretty easy to get along with. You've learned a little about the practice of Qigong. You've even done a few Qigong exercises. I hope maybe some of you have gained some curiosity. To learn more, we have a sign-up sheet, and you're welcome to, we'll be in contact with you.
You weren't contemplating questions, but people do have them. Be willing. I see some hands. Somebody would bring a mic to these people and...
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, questions that I can't answer, I will. There are some that I can't, and I won't.
Where are your classes held?
That's one of them that I can't answer. I have to contact you personally on that, either my wife or or myself can contact you personally on that, but at the request of the board at the location that we work at, I can't publicly state that. I know. It's what it is. Okay.
Randy, hold on just a second. I want to ask you, you commented about some of the cultural changes with Tai Chi in China. Would you comment about that, the things you told me about it?
Ooh. One of the interesting cultural changes in China, we were recently there, and I've also been doing some research on Tai Chi and Qigong. In the 50s, post-World War II, Tai Chi was becoming very popular in China. In 1965, the Cultural Revolution occurred. The Cultural Revolution tried to throw out all forms of alternative medicine. They banned Tai Chi. You could get yourself put into a work farm for practicing Tai Chi at that particular point in time. Things have changed in China a lot, but there's still personal opinion. They wear Levi's, they go to McDonald's, they go to KFC, which the tour guide told me, KFC, that stands for killed 40 million Chinese. But they do think differently about a lot of things. They are still very, very willing to accept a traditional way of thought. Qi is easy for them. Okay? It has to be a metaphor for me to get my head around it. But for them, it's still pretty easy. Observations in China, I found that the Chinese people are very, very proud of their country and the progress that they have made towards today's world in a very, very short period of time. Standard of living is increasing. It's going to be interesting, I think, when the first major economic downturn occurs in China. Okay. I don't know if that's helpful to anybody, but yes.
Another question. Whenever you do these movements and you're breathing,
Okay, I'm very hard of hearing, so we're going to have to wait on a mic here.
Yes, can I remark, I participate in your class of Tai Chi, which I thoroughly enjoy. But what I wanted to say was last year I had a major heart operation where they opened me up and pulled the heart out for Harris. Sorry, I thought you could hear me. Is it on? Yeah. No, I think it's working, I'm sorry.
no, it's not working.
I had a major heart operation. Coming out of that, I was tottering like an old grumpus all over the place. I had no balance whatsoever, and I had to use a stick to walk on, and gradually, of course, I improved. But I went to Tai Chi, and within weeks of the regular 3 times a week, 1 hour exercise program, I could balance on one leg. I still can balance on one leg, which is part of the exercise. So I cannot recommend it enough. Thank you.
Good.
Right?
Your movements and things, and then you were doing your breathing.
We don't hear you.
Okay, we're going to have to get the other mic over there because that one's not working. And I absolutely have to have amplification. I'm very hard to hear.
Whenever you do your movements,
Yes.
and you do your breathing and your exhaling and inhaling, do you practice inhaling through your nose and exhaling
does that make any difference in your particular movement?
We are pretty relaxed about it, and we don't really emphasize one way or the other, but the correct regimen is just that. Breathe in through the nose, push out.
It makes a lot of difference really in your lungs and the capacity of what they hold.
Yes, indeed. Please.
Years ago, I took Tai Chi, and at that time, there were 108 positions, as I recall. Unfortunately, business traveling, I got lost. But they also had a short form that only had 20 positions or postures. Which do you teach, or is it a mixture?
Well, the form of Tai Chi that we do does have 108 postures to it. Now, one of them is done, I believe, 14 times. So you can cut that back down. There's another one that's done 4 or 5 times. The Yang short form of Tai Chi is cut down, I believe, to 52 postures, and of those, many of them are repeated as well. I'm not a big fan of decreasing the number of postures involved. It takes a little longer to learn it, yes. To become really proficient at Tai Chi, it can take as little as 6 months, but as long as 2 years or 3 years to become. But in my mind, having the full 10 to 12 minutes of exercise, of this flowing, gentle exercise, has value in itself. You cut down the number of postures, you cut it down to 5 minutes. You may say do it twice, and there's probably merit to that. But that's opinion from one guy who teaches it. Okay? Anyone else? The form you did together, was that choreographed, or was that just done ad lib? Was there a name for that particular form, or is the demonstration that we gave was taking the Taoist Tai Chi set from the beginning, and we did roughly 1/3 of it at that point. It is choreographed. That's where we get into the 2 parts ballet, 1 part martial art. It is not at all ad-libbed. It's done under that pattern each and every time.
Any other questions?
Okay. Hey, I want to thank you all. You've been a great audience.
You've been a great presenter. Our presenter next week is Michael Warren. Many of you know him through theater, and as a poet, he's presented here several times. So I hope that you'll come next week. Remember to turn your cell phones on now, and please pick up your coffee cups and stack the chairs by color and style. And thank you, Randy and Alice, for your wonderful presentation.